vessels of the circulatory system are the aorta, the arteries, the arterioles, the capillaries, the venous, the veins, and the vena cava. The blood vessels are divided into two, the arterial system and the venous system. Now let us look at the arterial system. The arterial system comprises the aorta, the arteries, and the arterioles. The walls of the aorta and the arteries are formed by three layers. Number one is the outer tunica adventitia, which is made up of connective tissue layer of the parietal pericardium. It is the continuation of the fibrous layer of parietal pericardium. Number two is the middle tunica media, which is formed by smooth muscles. Number three is the inner tunica intima, which is made up of endothelium. It is the continuation of the endocardium. The aorta, arteries, and arterioles have two lamina of elastic tissues. Number one is the external elastic lamina, which is between the tunica adventitia and the tunica media. Number two is the internal elastic lamina, which is between the tunica media and the tunica intima. The aorta and arteries have more elastic tissues, and the arterioles have more smooth muscles. The arterial branches become narrower, and the walls become thinner while reaching the periphery. The aorta has got the maximum diameter of about 25 millimeters. The diameter of the arteries is gradually decreased, and at the end arteries, it is about 4 millimeters. It further decreases to 30 micron in the arterioles and ends up with 10 micron in the terminal arterioles. Now, peripheral resistance is offered to blood flow in the arterioles, and so these vessels are usually called resistant vessels. The arterioles are continued as capillaries, which are small thin-walled vessels having a diameter of about 5 to 8 micron. The capillaries are functionally very important because the exchange of materials between the blood and the tissues occurs through these vessels. Now let's talk about the venous system. From the capillaries, the venous system starts, and it includes the venous, the veins, and the vena cava. Capillaries end in venous, which are the smaller vessels with thin muscular wall than the arterioles. The diameter of the venous is about 20 micron. At the time, a large quantity of blood is held in venous, and hence the venous are called capacitance vessels. Venules are continued as veins, which have the diameter of 5 millimeters. The veins actually form the superior and inferior vena cava, which have a diameter of about 30 millimeters. The walls of the veins and vena cava are made up of inner endothelium, elastic tissues, smooth muscles, and outer connective tissue layer. In the veins and vena cava, the elastic tissue is less, but the smooth muscle fibers are actually more. Now let us talk about the complications in blood vessels. Now for the aorta and arteries, arterial blood vessels are highly susceptible for atherosclerosis and atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a disease of the arteries. It is associated with hardening, thickening, and loss of elasticity in the wall of the vessels. Atherosclerosis is a disease marked by the narrowing of lumen of arterial vessel, which is due to the deposition of cholesterol. Now for the arterioles, when the tone of the smooth muscles in the arterioles increases, hypertension occurs. Now for capillaries, the permeability of the capillary membrane may increase, resulting in shock or edema, which is due to the leakage of fluid, proteins, and other substances from the blood. For the veins, the inflammation of the wall of veins leads to the formation of intravascular clots called thrombosis. The clot gets dislodged as thrombus. The thrombus travels through blood and causes embolism. The embolism obstructs the blood flow to vital organs such as the brain, the heart, and the lungs, leading to many complications. Now let's talk about the deviation of the circulation. The blood flows through two divisions of circulatory system, which are the systemic circulation and the pulmonary circulation. Now, for the systemic circulation is otherwise known as the greater circulation. Blood pumped from left ventricle passes through a series of blood vessels, the arterial system, and reaches the tissues. Exchange of various substances between blood and the tissues occurs at the capillaries. After exchange of materials, the blood enters the venous system and returns to the right atrium of the heart. From right atrium, the blood enters the right ventricle. Thus, through systemic circulation, oxygenated blood is supplied from the heart to the tissues, and venous blood returns to the heart from the tissues. The second one is the pulmonary circulation. Now, pulmonary circulation is otherwise called the lesser circulation. Blood is pumped from the right ventricle to the lungs through pulmonary artery. The exchange of gases occurs between blood and alveoli of the lungs at pulmonary capillaries. The oxygenated blood returns to the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. Thus, the left side of the heart contains oxygenated or arterial blood, and the right side of the heart contains deoxygenated or venous blood.